All right, just let me know if you can hear me. For those of you that are here, just let me know if you can hear me. Just let me know if you can hear me. If you're here, just put in the chat section, I can hear you, so I know that you can hear me. All right. You can feel free to put on the chat section, I can hear you. All right. Someone can hear me. All right. We are live. We are live. We are live. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Let's let more people join. If you are here, please put in our community group join now. If you are here, just put in our community group join now. Let's get more people to join. This event is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You know, I keep on saying this. These marketplace dynamics are not for everybody. So just put in the community section just put in the community page join now. Join now. Okay? Put on the community page join now. Just put on the community page join now. Join now. Join now. Forget everything. Just put join now. Okay? The one to see when these are people already on, they're going to join. So let's all type join now. Let's all type join now. Just type join now in the comment section of the community before I start. We need more people here. We need more people here. The last session we are quite a number. The previous session too. So let's put join now. We need more people in this room. Okay, we need more people in this room. All right. So if you are here, just let me know your name. Let me know what you do. Let me know where you are watching us from. Either of these things. Let me know your name, what you do, where you are watching us from. Your name, what you do. If you're a student, let us know you're a student. If you're a businessman, let us know you're a businessman. If you're working in a bank, let us know you're working in a bank. Just tell us something about you. So let us know your name, what you do, and where you are watching from. Okay? Your name, what you do, where you're watching from. If you're here, do let us know. I love to meet the people of our community. Do let us know your name, what you do, and where you're watching from. Okay, I am Charlie Caleb. I'm a public speaker and I'm joining from Santa Maria. That's in Ghana, right? Santa Maria, Ghana. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I want to see more people. Just let me know your name, where you're watching us from. Okay, we have to do these things so I get to know you, so that when I'm speaking, I'm able to contextualize what I'm saying towards you. I'm able to contextualize it to you and for you. Okay, all right. So let us know your name, what you do, and where you're watching us from. What country are you watching us for? Because we have people who join us who are from Canada. We have people who join us who are from Kenya. So let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know where you're watching us from. Okay, I've seen. So um, I'll be putting your names on the screen. So once you do let me know. You might never know who will be looking out for you. All right. So I am Charlie Caleb. I'm a public speaker and I'm joining from Santa Maria. He says yes, he's in Ghana. Okay, I want to know more people. More people. Let us know where you are watching us from. We are a number here. More people are joining, and so please let us know where you are watching us from. Feel free to comment in the chat section. You know, in the School of Lumen, one of the things that we do is that because it's not an in-person event, we have to be able to engage as much as possible. Okay, so I am Douglas. I am watching from Ghana. I'm a student and a startup founder. Okay, so we have a startup founder over here. If you are here, I know some people their streams when you're watching me, you are some few minutes late or some few seconds late, but it doesn't matter. When you hear this, please just put in the chat section what your name, what you do, and where you're watching us from, so I'm able to contextualize my message for you. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have Douglas, we have Chalet, we have so many people over here. Um, More people are going to be joining over the period of time. So for now, let's just get started. I don't want to waste any more time with everybody. But for now, um, if you are watching us, one more thing I want you to do for us, just send this live link, put it on your status, and just type we are live. After the session is done, you can delete it from your status, or you can delete it from your story or wherever. Okay. But for now, just put we are live on your status, on your story, send it to a friend. I just want you to take it. After the event, you can unsend it, delete it, or whatever. Okay. But for now, just do this, because somebody's life is not going to be the same. I'm telling you. Somebody says, I'm Sandra, I'm a graphic designer and a video editor. All right, that is fine. Where are you watching us from? Sandy Story Hub. Where are you watching us from? We have Peace Bathsheba, who is watching us from India. Oh my God. Wow. But she's South Sudanese. She runs a profitable bakery. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Amazing, amazing. So we have people watching us from India. We've had people from Canada. We have people from Kenya. We have people from Ghana. We have people from Nigeria. All right. More people. I know more people are going to be joining as the time goes. But for now, please share this with somebody. Okay. Please share this with somebody. All right. So let me not waste too much time talking about sharing and all of that. I trust that people will be able to share this with as many people as you can. On the community page, from time to time, I'm deploying one of you. Okay, let them know how great let them know how great things are going right here on our call. Or okay, so I just want you to I just want you to take your time and then ease in. Okay, so let's cut the chase and let's go to everything that we have for today. Okay, we have let's do what we have for today. I feel as though my okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so if you are here, if you are here, I just want you to put a few fire emojis and write I am glad to be here. Right? I am glad to be here in the comment section. I am glad to be here. Today we are talking about something called the dynamics of creativity. The dynamics of creativity. The dynamics of creativity. Now, if you've been following us, every 2 weeks we've been having the marketplace dynamics. It's a series, it's a three-part series that we've had. We started with something, we started with the first one called Dynamics of Opportunities. Then we had something called the Dynamics of Manifestation. And then from the Dynamics of Manifestation, we had something called, and that's what we're having now. We're having something called the dynamics of creativity. So it's a three-part series. So if there are new people watching here, please understand that it's a three-part series. If you've not watched the first two, after this session, I want you to go and watch those first two. It's important because it shapes the way that you think about how we understand things here. You understand the context of the conversation. You understand how you're going to apply them correctly and sequentially into your life so that you are able to succeed within your career, within your business, within whatever you are running. Okay, because we have people over here who say they're startup founders, they're running software companies, people are public speakers, people are artists, people are fashion designers, people are running bakeries, people are running all sorts of things. Okay, now the reason, as long as you are doing something with your hands, or as long as you plan to do something with your hands, or you plan to do some form of work, or you plan to be one of the great people within your scene, one of the great people to ever come out of your lineage, one of the great people who's going to impact the generation and impact your time and impact your dispensation, then this event is for you. Okay, then this event is for you. However, I just want to say this. Okay, there are two types of people in life generally. There are people who set the pace. Listen carefully. There are people who set the pace, and there are people who occupy space. Let me say this again. There are people who set the pace, and there are people who occupy space. When I say occupy space, that means that they are just merely existing. That's why. Okay, perfect. This is perfect now. Okay. All right. Hey, Therese from country. Okay, Therese, let us know where you're watching us from, even though I know you're from Cameroon, but let us know where you're watching us from and then what you do. Okay. We need more people over here. Please, we need more people over here. If you are here, please just share this with somebody. We need more people here. If you are here, please reshare the link on our community page. We need more people here. We need more people to catch on to this. We can't just do this with just and we need more people in this room. We need more people in this room. Please, 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 please do share this on the community page. Just put we are live, put join now, and then I continue. Okay, perfect. We are increasing, the number is increasing, so I want you to share this. All right, so look at this. Okay, so as I was saying something, so there are two types of people. There are people who set the pace, and there are people who occupy space. If you've been within our space and within either of the previous parts, you understand that. You understand something, and I need to listen carefully. You understand that there are people in life that we call the mediocre many, and there are people that we call the excellent few. Listen carefully. There are people that we call the mediocre many, and there are people that we call the excellent few. There are people that we call the mediocre many, and there are people that we call the excellent few. Within every industry, within every business, within every career, within every space, every ecosystem, every geographical location, there are people who are part of the mediocre many. In other words, who are just part of the masses, the people who just occupy space and are not redefining the trajectory of wherever they are. And there are people who are part of the excellent few. These are the people who are setting the pace for the industry. These are the people who are redefining the status quo. These are the people who are ascending to levels that nobody within their space has ever ascended to. That's what we call the excellent few. So, my job here is that whatever space that you may be in, because I don't know what space you might be in, you probably might be a nurse, you probably might be a photographer, you probably might be a public speaker, you probably might be trying to run a startup. Whatever you are trying to do, regardless of your space, regardless of your expertise, regardless of your know how, my job is that I'm going to give you a few things that once you possess these things, you'll be able to transcend or move from the realm of the mediocre many, in other words, the masses, in other words, the people who just occupy space within your ecosystem, to being part of the people who are the elite, who are the excellent few, who are the people who are redefining your industries and your space. So I've been sharing these things. So it's for people within the within the career space, and people within who are running businesses. If you're a student about to enter into the corporate world, you need to understand these dynamics so that you can get ahead of people. Now, over the past, if you're on the community, you realize that after the past two sessions, a lot of people are getting a lot of testimonials about being able to work with billion-dollar companies, getting on certain platforms, and all of these things. I've been teaching how to be able to navigate the space. And the moment you treat these things lightly, you will not be able to catch the light of everything to be able to excel at the rates that you need to. So, what I want you to do right now is that I want you to be able to make a decision right now that as I am here, I'm not just going to be a passive participator, but I'm going to be an active participator. Because when you are an active participator, then you'll be able to get the most out of everything. You'll be able to get in tune with the frequency at which I'm speaking. Okay. Another thing that I want to lay over here is, before I begin, another thing I want to lay is, if you are here and you hear me say something that strikes you, you hear me say something that hits you, you hear me say anything, please feel free to put in the comment section without me saying put in the comment section. We are trying to, you want to be able to express yourself as much as possible in the comment section, so that as long as we are going, other people can also see things, and then you are able to also participate in your best way possible. All right. So with that being said, let's enter into everything. So the dynamics of creativity, the dynamics of creativity. All right. So We are live. Thank you so much. Fexa Digital Solutions. Thank you so much for putting that on the community page that we are live. Okay. So first things first, you see, when we talk about creativity, a lot of people don't understand what we're about to do. Some people think I'm about to teach you how to be creative, how to bring some. I'm not just trying to teach you how to just be creative, as in trying to make the most out of what you have or those kind of things. No, that's not what this is about. It is in some measure about that, but that's not the full scope of what we are about to talk about. The full scope of what we are talking about holds a lot of density and a lot of weight. And the moment you begin to tune into the frequency of these things I'm about to share, your life will never ever be the same. You'll be a wonder to many. Somebody type in the comment section, I'll be a wonder to many. If you're here, type in the chat section, I'll be a wonder to many. I will be a wonder to many. I will be a wonder to many. Please type in the comment section. You are going to be a wonder to many. Please type it. Now, the dynamics of creativity is you essentially understanding the dynamics of being able to create necessary solutions for your space that is going to plunge you to the next level. Now, a lot of people, when we talk about creating solutions, they only think about business. That's not the conversation. I'm not coming to force you to enter into entrepreneurship. I'm not coming to get you to do something like that. What I'm trying to do over here is that I am trying to raise your consciousness of your being so that you are able to tune into a different part of you that is aware of how to be able to spot problems, pick problems within your space, solve those problems, and become the one who gets celebrated for those problems so that you are moved into the next level. You see, the marketplace does not pay people who only spot problems. The marketplace pays people who are able to create solutions for problems they have spotted. Everybody can spot problems. That's why there are so many pundits on TV. That's why there are so many people who are just always on radio, always complaining about the government, who are always complaining about the economy, always complaining about so many different things. They are complaining because spotting a problem is not hard. Spotting problems is not hard. It's not hard at all to spot a problem. For example, if I'm wearing a white shirt and there's a stain on it, is it going to be difficult for you to spot the problem? Of course not. It's going to be so easy because the white shirt, there's a stain on it, so you just easily see it. So anybody at all can spot problems. Spotting problems does not necessarily mean that you have a high IQ. It does not mean that you automatically be one of the people who's going to reign within your scene. Spotting problems is a normal frequency for anybody. It's a normal frequency both for the mediocre many and for the excellent few. That's the normal frequency of everybody. So spotting problems does not necessarily is not what is going to make you, it's not the thing that is necessarily going to move you forward in life. It's your ability to spot the problems, number one. Number two is your ability to then find solutions, or your ability to think of solutions. And number three is your ability to bring the solutions from the realm of intangibility to tangibility. These are the people who are able to then shapeshift ecosystems and shapeshift industries. It's not just important to think about solutions. If you think about solutions, you've not done anything really, because it's all in your mind, it's intangible. You can have something and it's so intangible in your brain that it's abstract. The people who are able to really change things are always able to move from abstract to literal. When you are able to graduate from abstract, to literal, that's when you are able to be celebrated within a scene. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to get you to move to not to graduate from spotting problems, because everybody spots problems. We are trying to help you to learn how to think of solutions, because it requires a certain level. It's not everybody that can think of solutions. There are some people who cannot even fathom what type of solution to create for certain problems. They might be able to spot the problems, but it's not enough. What you want to do is that once you spot the problem, you want to be able to think of the necessary solution. Now, thinking of the necessary solution is not just, hey, I'm just thinking. No, when I'm saying thinking, I'm talking about you being able to mentally process the exact antidote for a particular problem, because it's not everybody that's able to have quality of thought. If you don't have quality of thought, you'll not be able to have quality of production. Every quality production always started with a quality thought. So your ability to be able to make your thought quality is what is going to allow you to produce quality items and quality solutions for the marketplace. Most people do not have the capacity, the intellectual, the mental capacity and frequency to be able to increase the quality of their thought. Not alone even talk about increase the quality of anything that they aim to produce. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. And so, in the dynamics of creativity, I'm moving you from abstract to literal. I'm moving you from being able to spot problems to be able to learn how to think of quality solutions, number one, and then how to be able to then produce or be able to materialize those those quality solutions so that you are able to be a benefit to your society and you're able to progress within the marketplace, within your career. Every time that people within the career space come to me for and they mention that, oh, I'm trying to be able to do this and do that within my company, but they are not realizing me. It's just because, or they are not being able to recognize my efforts. It's just because you don't know how to be able to create solutions on a high level. Whether you are an entrepreneur, or you are a 9 to 5, or you are working somewhere, whatever you're a freelancer, contractual person, what you want to do is this: you want to be able to learn how to be able to, let me put it this way. You want to be able to learn how to be able to not just produce, you want to be able to learn how to deliver a solution in a particular way that lets you be appreciated. Okay. You see, Joseph in the Bible, there was a problem. The king had a dream. That was the problem. He then first of all, he was able to then think of the necessary solution. He was able to at least tune into the frequency of the solution. And then not only that, he provided a blueprint for the implementation of the solution. So because he provided the blueprint for the implementation of the solution, that is why he was appreciated and he was made the second in command. The reason why nobody, listen, within your office is being able to appreciate you for some of the solutions that you be suggesting is because you just suggest solutions without the road of implementation. Everybody has ideas, okay? But what you want to do is that if your idea, if you are not able to give a roadmap to your idea, you will not be able to live inside the success of the things that you want to see, and people will never ever appreciate you. The people who are always appreciated in any given space are the people who learn how to be able to provide roadmaps to those ideas. Anyway, so let's get into everything. So, what then does creativity mean? We are talking about the dynamics of creativity. What then does creativity actually mean? What does it mean to be creative? Now, first things first, the word create is creativity. I always told you guys, if you are in the school of Lumen, you have to understand something called etymology. Etymology is the understanding of the origin and root of words. You need to understand that every word that you used is coming from a place. And until you understand that place, you cannot understand the current architecture of this word that you are using. Otherwise, what you do is that you reduce the gravitas of whatever you are speaking. So sometimes for certain words and certain concepts, if what you want to do is that you want to understand the etymology of the word, it will give you an upper hand. Now, the word is creativity. It's a multisyllabic word. Now, I want you to understand this finally. Every multisyllabic word in English comes 90% of all multisyllabic words. Now, if you don't understand what multisyllabic means, you see, for example, we have singular syllabic words, things that are a word like two, just to, it's just one syllable. But a word like together is multisyllable. Now most 90% of all multisyllabic words in the English language, 90% of those words come from Latin, and 10% of those multisyllabic words in the English language comes from Greek. So that means that any word that you use that is multisyllabic either comes from Greek or Latin roots, or some form of Proto-Indo-European roots. I'm just letting you understand that. The word create comes from the Latin word known as creatus. Now, you see, when you look at the word creativity, we have two words. It is creativity. Think about it. Creativity. Creativity. So that means that you are creating. And what's the activity about? That activity or the activity is a suffix. Okay, so that is an for a suffix. I mean, you have to understand activity is simply a word like activity. So when we are talking about creativity, we are simply talking about the activity of creating. When people say, "Oh, this person is creative," they don't. Some people just think that, oh, when they say this person is creative, they think of somebody who is making some nice piece of art. That's not just what creativity is. That's just you understanding creativity in one aspect and one dimension. That's not what creativity is in totality. Creativity is simply, please write this, create plus activity. Please write this. Creativity is create plus activity. So if you create a solution and there's no activity behind it, that you've not manifested creativity. Mm. If you create something and there's no activity behind that, whatever you've created, you have not manifested creativity. You have not been creative, even though you have created something. Because every form, anything that you create, there should be activity pushing what you create to the world and making people appreciate it. Most people create things and do leave the activity part out of everything. So please write this in the comment section. Create plus activity. That is what you call creativity. Create plus activity. Please write this down. Please write this down. I'm going to explain something. So I'm just graduating slowly. If you've been to any of our sessions, you know that you can't grasp the fullness. I always lay the groundwork first and then I build upon it. So you need to follow to the end. Quite literally, we are going to do only 2 hours and I leave you. All the times I've done only 2 hours and maybe a few minutes added, but I don't do more than 2 hours. So just know that I'm going to keep to time. Okay. Please write this, create plus activity. Perfect. Create plus activity. That's what you call creativity. Okay. This is what you call creativity. So now that we have these two words, we need to understand create, because that's the word. The ivity is just a suffix, so we don't really need to truly understand that. But what we really need to understand is the core part of the word, and that is create. What does it mean to create? You see, and I was saying this, the word create comes from the Latin word known as creatus. Now, creatus simply means to produce. To produce, or it means to bring forth. Listen carefully. It means to produce or to bring forth. Now, what we understand from Genesis 1, verse 1, okay, I want you to understand something, that the Bible says that we are made in the image of God. Okay, I want you to understand that I'm not a pastor, but a lot of the examples that we use in School of Lumen are tied to the Bible. Okay, a lot of times, and it's not any form of biasness. We know that there are Muslims here, there are some people who are from different parts. We are just using this to explain a concept. We are not enforcing anything on you. Okay, I just want to lay that over there. Perfect. Now that I've said that, the first thing I just want you to know that, you see, to be able to create is something so important that if you want to be able to be at the top of whatever you are doing, you need to understand. Really need to understand what it means to create. If you don't understand what it means to create at a fundamental level, forget being one of the top people within your space. Forget about it. Why am I saying this? Because the first thing that we got to know about God in Genesis 1 verse 1 was that he is a creator. It says, in the beginning, God created. So God didn't just first come to us and then reveal himself to us as probably a healer or a savior or a provider. He came, and the first thing, his first self introduction to you and to the world was that I am a creator, because that was the first thing that he did. That was the first action that he took. Listen carefully. So that's the nature of God is for him to create. Because, like, you see, the thing, I sometimes I ask myself, why did God need to create the earth? Like, why did he need to create all this? Like, for what reason? But you understand, apart from him trying to get human beings to worship and people to participate and do things and worship him and all of that, I mean, he could have created, the angels were there to even worship and everything. However, it is in God's nature to create. And if we are made in the image of God, that means that we are supposed to be creating at some degree. So it's always an error when you are a consumer, not a producer or a creator. Now, first things first, you see, when you look at that Genesis 1 verse 1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. By the way, most people will just say, oh, I am going to heaven. Listen, God never created heaven. God created heavens. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Listen, I'm going somewhere. God never created heaven. So people say, oh, when I die, I want to go to heaven. It's not heaven, because in the beginning, God created heavens, not heaven. He didn't say God created heaven and earth. He said God created the heavens and the earth. There's an S. You know why? Because the thing about creativity is this. Creativity is dimensional in nature. This is the first thing that I want you to write about creativity. Please write this down. Creativity is dimensional in nature. Please write this one down. Creativity is dimensional in nature. Just write it down. I'm going to explain this as we go on. I'll not. I just want you to note this one down. As we proceed, you understand what that means. You understand what that means. I'm telling you. You understand what that means, but just write it down. Creativity is dimensional in nature. Just the raw concept of creativity is dimensional. That's why when God was creating, he created the heavens and the earth. He created a big solar system, a big universe. Anyway, that's just by the way. So create comes from the Latin word known as creatus, and creatus means to produce. Listen carefully, I'm going somewhere. So that means that when we are talking about the dynamics of creativity, we are simply also talking about the dynamics of producing, or in other words, the dynamics of production. Listen carefully. The dynamics of producing or the dynamics of production, because the word create comes from the Latin word known as creatus. Creatus means to produce. And so if we know that creatus means to produce, that means create means to produce something. If I say you have to create something, that means that you have to produce something. That simply means that when I'm talking about the dynamics of creativity, I'm also talking about the dynamics of producing, or the dynamics of production. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. The dynamics of production. So, we know for sure in business and economics terms, there are really two people in the entire there are really two people in the ecosystem. Okay, I mean, when you look at the supply chain, there are different people across the supply chain, but the main people is that we have producers and we have consumers. The producers are the ones who think of what the consumers have to be able to consume. The consumers do not think of necessarily what the producers have to produce. When you're a producer, what that means is that when this is what I want to say. That one of the things that you need to understand about being creative is this: when you are a producer, in other words, you are trying to create something, you have to learn how to be a person who knows how to be in the shoes of others. One thing about being a creator or being a producer is that you have to be willing to take a cross or bear a cross that is not even necessarily related to you at all. Like when you are creating something, you see, you are producing something. That means that you are thinking about the consumer. You are thinking about the consumer. Every producer always thinks about the consumer. So if you realize when you're trying to create something, you shouldn't create something because of you. You should create something because of the consumer. Listen carefully. So anything that you want to create, before you create it, if you create it out of your own selfish needs, number one, you are in trouble. You have already defined what creativity means, because you are not going to produce something that the consumer is going to want. So what you want to do is that anytime before you ever even think about creating something, always think about the end user, who is called the consumer. Listen carefully. Now, the word produce, remember I said creatus comes from produce. The word creatus is the Latin. The word create, the Latin is creatus, and that word means produce. Produce, the Latin for produce is producer. Producer. Let me show this on the screen so that you're able to visualize what I'm saying. Okay. Let me please allow me to Google this so that you get to see what I'm saying. It's not just gibberish in your ear, because we are going to go very practical. I just need you to understand these things first before I move into anything practical. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk and talk and talk, and you just appreciate the knowledge and you not really understand the frequency at which this knowledge is coming at. So let me write this. Let me get this down and produce etymology. Please look here. I'm going to share my screen so you're able to see this. Let me type this, produce etymology. Okay. Perfect. Look at this. Right? So it comes from the word producer. That word means to lead or to lead forth. Listen, when we are talking about the dynamics of creativity, it all boils down to your ability to lead. The moment you are not able to understand that creativity is truly about leading, you probably may not understand this, what we're about to do. This is where I was heading to. So the whole thing about creativity is about leading. That means that if you are in the marketplace, if you are in your career, your goal shouldn't just be, I'm just working. That means that you are not ready to dominate. You're not ready to be part of the excellent few. Your goal should be, I want to be one of the leaders of the organization. I want to be one of the leaders in the industry. I want to be one of the leaders in my space. That is what true creativity is about. True creativity is a function of leadership. Please write this down. True creativity is a function of leadership, because the word creatus, that means to produce, the Latin producer means to lead. That means that when we're talking about creativity, it's truly about leading. Creativity is a function of leadership. That means that if you are within your company and you are not thinking of how to lead, you are not being creative. If you are not thinking of how to lead an initiative, you are not being creative. I don't care what type of things how you're participating with it. Your goal is that you want to be able to learn how to lead. Now, somebody will say, "Oh, but I'm not a leader." If that is your thought, that means that, like, you need to be able to move from the realm of the mediocre many, because the mediocre many who are scared to lead. The people who are part of the excellent few, think about it. Bill Gates, all the people who are rich, even Elon Musk. You see, when you look at those people are introverts. You look at some of those people are introverted by nature, but they understand that if I want to be able to be, if I'm truly creative, that means that I have to lead. And so they intentionally step into the realm of being able to lead something, lead an initiative, lead some form of idea, one way or another. Creativity is a function of leadership. Okay? Now, with that being said, this is what you need to understand. Whenever you're trying to create something, you need to think about it in these three ways. Number one, you should think of why you want to create. Number one. Number two, you should think of what to create. Number three, you should think of how to create it. Please write this down. And this is what I'm going to, my entire presentation today is going to be around these three things. Number one, why you want to create, which I've already kind of explained. Number two, what you want to create. And everything I'm going to say is going to fall under these three categories. I'm going to take why you want to create and break it down, what you want to create, how to create it, and then we close. That is all I'm going to do today. So if you want to create something, number one, you need to understand why you want to create something. You need to understand what exactly to then create. Then you need to understand afterwards how to create it. Because if you understand what to create but don't understand how to create, you are living in the realm of abstract. You are not living in the realm of literal. Literal always thinks of how to do things, not just what to do. People who are so fixated on abstract ideas are always thinking of what to do, not how to do it. That's why doers always win, not just thinkers. It's not so when sometimes people will tell me that, oh, you're one of the greatest thinkers of our dispensation currently. Sometimes I really wonder, okay? I understand and I know that it's a compliment. But for me, I don't just want to be seen as one of the greatest thinkers of my generation. I want to be seen as one of the greatest doers of my generation. Because thinkers live in the realm of the abstract and doers live in the realm of the literal. Thinkers think of what to create. Doers think of what to create and how to create it. And then they create it. Are you with me? Okay. So before you create anything, you need to think about this in these three things. Thank you. So Therese, thank you so much. Why you want to create, what you want to create, and how to create it. I told you guys there are some things that I will not necessarily say right in the comment section, that once it hits you, you just feel free and put it in the comment section. I will show it on the screen. So if you say something, I would love to show your comment on the screen, any of that. So that's what we will be doing. Okay. So please just feel free to participate. I don't want you to be passive with these things, because by the time I'm done, some of your lives will never ever be the same. And I just want to take you from one step to another. I'm only but a vessel. I'm not a magician. I'm none of that. I'm just but a vessel to be able to take you to the next frontier of where you need to be in the marketplace, whether it's your career, whatever you might be running. Okay. So first things, why you want to create. Why you want to create. This is what I want to focus on. I already told you that the first thing that God tells us about himself in Genesis 1 verse 1 is that he's a creator. He didn't tell you that he's a savior, he's a provider, or he's a healer. No, the first thing that God said, his first self-introduction, is that I'm a creator, because he created the heavens and the earth. Okay. Now, with that being said, what that means is this: in everybody here listening to me, you cannot what that means is this: in everybody here listening to me, there is a deposit of creativity inside of you. Now, when I'm saying creativity, I'm not just talking about your ability to to be creative in terms of, oh, this person's a creative person, the person is just doing something fancy and nice. No, I'm talking about your ability to lead, because I explained to you what creativity is truly. I told you creativity is a function of leadership. So, in other words, I'm saying in every person listening to me, there is a deposit of leadership, by virtue of the fact that the scripture mainly says you are made in the image of God. And God's first thing was that he created. That means that there is a deposit of leadership inside of you automatically. That residue of leadership exists in your bloodstream. The problem here is most people, number one, don't know that they are leaders, or they've forgotten that they are leaders, or they doubt themselves that they are leaders. It's three things. It's either they don't know what they have, it's either they doubt what they have, or it's either they forget what they have. So think of yourself right now. Which of these categories do you find yourself? Is it that you don't know that you're a leader? Because some people just feel like, oh, I'm not born to lead, I'm born to follow. That's what some people just think. So they don't know that they are leaders. Number two, there's some people who are leaders, but they've been leading. They're the firstborn of, you could have been maybe in a particular thing. You've led an assignment in school, you've led a project at work, you've led something before. But now you are not tuning into that frequency of that person because you've forgotten that you've led before. And that means that once you've done it before, you can do it again. And number three, you doubt who you are. So it's not that you don't know that you're a leader. It's not that you've forgotten that you're a leader, but you doubt that you can truly lead something. So if you doubt your leadership, that means that you are doubting your creativity. If you've forgotten your leadership, that means that you've forgotten your creativity. If you do not know your leadership, if you don't know that you are a leader, that means that you don't know that you are creative. This is what this simply means. Somebody says all three for me, all three for her. Listen, let me know which of them are you. Is it that you doubt? Is it that you don't know that you are a leader, or you've forgotten that you are a leader, or you doubt that you are a leader? Which of them? Let me know. If you're here listening to me, it's either you don't know who you truly are, or you've forgotten who you truly are, or you doubt who you truly are. Everybody in life who is not able to be able to lead something, anybody in life who's not able to lead any part of any form of initiative is suffering from either of these three things. Somebody says, how then do I ignite that leadership spirit in me? That's what the dynamics of creativity is. I'm going to show you not just how to ignite that spirit of leadership, I'm going to show you how to be able to use that to be able to create solutions for your industry. Listen, I'm showing you something, okay? Think of yourself right now. For now, if you're on the call, they're listening to me. Think of it. Is it that you don't know who you truly are, or you don't know your greatness, or you doubt your greatness, or you've forgotten your greatness, or your leadership? Any of that, okay? That's those are the things that really plague people from being able to manifest that type of leadership necessary for them to be able to create. It's either they don't know that they are great, they forget that they are great, or they doubt that they are great. It's either you don't know that you're a leader, you forget that you have the ability to lead, or you doubt that you can lead. If you do not identify which of these three categories you belong to, you'll not be able to step into the next level of your leadership that will allow you to be able to function in the creative realm. That's why I'm saying this. Because you need to understand this to know what part of the creative realm you need to function at. Somebody says, I doubt a lot. She doubts, so you doubt that you are okay. Somebody says none. If it's none for you, then that means that you should be able to now be creating things, or you should have created something by now. Okay. But the thing is this, either of these things can plague you along the way of life. So it's not that you like there's nobody. It's even at certain levels of success, there are certain times that a lot of the great people that you see on screen begin to doubt themselves, like, hey, do I really belong to this place? But I need to understand that once you want to move out of the mediocre many into the realm of the excellent few, you need to go out of either of these realms. You need to stop. You need to know that you are great. You need to remember that you are great, and you need to stop doubting yourself that you are great. Okay. With that being said, right now I'm talking about why I'm talking about why you want to create. Okay, this is what I'm. So if you just joined us, okay, I've categorized everything I'm about to say right now into three parts: why you want to create something, what to create, and then how to create it. That's what I'm talking about right now. Okay. So right now I'm at the why you want to create something. And I'm talking about, first of all, I'm removing the blockades that is on people in terms of leadership, because true creativity is a function of leadership. So now that you've removed these things, now when we're talking about the why you want to create something, the whole thing is this. Number one, you want to be able to create Why you want to create something is because you already have the residue inside of you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You already have the residue of leadership or of creativity inside of you. So in terms of solutions that you have to create, it's not that you are trying to be somebody that you are not. No, all you have to do is that you have to increase those residues, because sometimes it's not that it's not inside of you, it's inside of you, but it's being trampled by the know, forget, and doubt thing that I just talked about. So what you need to do is that you need to or remove those things and then let that part shine. Once you remove those things, then you'll be able to now tune into your leadership because it already exists in you. So why do you want to create something? You want to create something because it is your nature to create. Number two, the people in the excellent few. Think about it. Everybody that you celebrate in life led something. I don't care whether the person is a 9 to 5er, whether the person is an entrepreneur. Think of it. Some people say, "Oh, um, entrepreneurs are better than 9 to 5ers," and you say, "Oh, there's some people say no, 9 to 5ers are better than entrepreneurs." Some people say, if 9 to 5 was so bad, then why is Tim Cook rich? It's fine. That's a valid question. Why is he rich? He's rich not just because he's he's rich not just because he's in a you don't get rich because you're in a 9 to 5 or you are an entrepreneur. You get rich because you're a leader. Think about it. You don't get rich. Listen, anybody at all, take any organization. Look at the organization. Who makes the most money? CEO, MD, head of this, manager of this. Oh, that's why people want to be entrepreneurs, because the easiest way to be able to tune into a certain level of wealth is through leadership. And the way that comes and leadership stems from creativity. So Tim Cook is a successful 9 to 5er, not because he's in 9 to 5, but it's not because even of the company, it's because he's a leader. In other words, he's tuned into his creativity. You don't get rich because you are in a 9 to 5 or not. You get rich because you're a leader. I don't care what space you are in. Anybody who's celebrated, think about it. Anybody who's celebrated across history, from the beginning of days till now, is because the person led something. Moses, we celebrate Moses, but it's because Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt to a place. Joseph led something. He led Egypt to be able to be sustained for a period of famine. Think about it. Religious leaders from Teresa, to Nelson Mandela, to Martin Luther King, to people who led organizations. Think about it. Tim Cook, Steve Jobs. Think about it. Herbert Wigwe, rest in peace, the CEO of Access Bank. It's because they are celebrated because they were able to lead. Leadership is what creates legacy. Whether you are in the career space or in the business space, leadership is what creates that. And so, what am I saying over here? Why you want to create is because number one, it's in your nature to create. Number two, you need to be able to create because that's the best way to be able to succeed. In other words, you need to create, and always think, whenever I use the word create, also think about lead. So if I say create, if I say you need to create because it's the best way to succeed, I'm also saying that you need to lead because it's the best way to succeed. So sometimes you don't even need the reason why you need to lead is because you need to succeed. That sounds so good. Please write that down. The reason why you need to lead is because you need to succeed. The reason why you need to lead is because you need to succeed. Please write this down. The reason why you need to lead is because you need to succeed. So that's why you want to create something. So you want to create something because it gives you the ability to be able to be a leader. That's all. That's it. That is it. That is it. So, like, if you want to succeed within any space, within the marketplace, You need to learn how to lead, and that comes from your creativity. That comes from learning why you want to create something. And you want to create something because it's already inside of you. And number two, you need to create something because if you want to succeed, if you want to be part of the excellent few, you can only do that through the realm of creating something, especially if you want to do it at the highest level. If you want to do it at the highest level, you have to create something. I don't care what it is, you need to create something. You need to create something. Okay, now let's move on. Now, I've spoken about why you want to create. Now, let's talk about what to create. Now, when I'm talking about what to create, most people don't get this, and I want you to pay attention now. When people think about creativity, what they think about is thinking outside of the box. When you say, oh, you have to be creative, they say, oh, you have to be creative, you have to think outside of the box. Listen, it is part of being creative, but that's not the totality of creativity. The totality of creativity goes beyond you just thinking outside of the box. In fact, creativity is three things. Creativity is your ability to think inside the box, is your ability to think outside the box, and your ability to create the box when there is no box. Ah, oh my God. Can I say this again? Most people, when they think about creativity, all they think about is thinking outside of the box. But creativity is not just thinking outside of the box. Creativity is three things. Creativity is someone's ability to think inside of the box, number one, outside of the box, number two, and number three, the ability to create the box when there is no box. Because if that's why I told you something. Remember what I told you in the beginning? That one of the things that you need to understand about creativity is that creativity is dimensional in nature. No, if you are truly creative, you think about things in all dimensions. When you spot a problem, you will not just spot a problem from one face or one aspect. You begin to spot problems in all its dimensions. And before you create something, otherwise, you cannot create something great. Anybody that creates something great always thinks about it in all its dimensions. Listen, when you are truly creative and you want to create something or create some form of solution for a problem that you've seen, and you only think outside of the box, you've limited your creativity. Because when you think outside of the box, you miss whatever is inside the box. Hmm. My God, this sounds so good. So that's why when people say they are creative and they say, oh, creativity is about thinking outside the box, it's not about thinking outside the box. Otherwise, you've limited your creativity. You've limited your creativity. Creativity, it's about you. If you only think about creativity and you're trying to create a solution for a problem that you've seen, and then you are creating that thing, and you're creating that thing. Let me put it this way. And you're creating that thing, and the only way that you're trying to create that thing is by thinking outside of the box. You will not find the things that are inside of the box to create what you need. And sometimes, in certain situations, there is no box at all for you. When there is no box, somebody who is truly creative, what they do is that when there is no box, they create the box. Uh, think about it. That's why I said creativity is dimensional in nature. It's dimensional in nature. So anybody who is truly creative, usually when you're creating something, you need to create more than one solution, because every solution in every solution bears the seed to the next problem. Solutions never come out as fully perfect, by the way. Anyway, let me not go into that thing for now. I'll talk about that some other time in one of our other sessions. But let me stay on chat on course so we are able to see, so you're able to see the sequence of what I'm talking about. And so, what you want to do is this: the dynamics of creativity it's not about you spotting problems, because anybody can spot problems. So once you spot the problem, because many of you have spotted problems in the government, in how the economy is being run, maybe inside of your company, there's something that your marketing department is doing wrong. You've been able to spot the problem. Within your unit or your department, your city, your society, your country, your system, the educational system within wherever you might be, because there are people from India over here, Kenya, the US, Canada, right here on this call with me. No matter where you are, right? You've been able to spot a problem one way or another. Okay, you've been able to spot a problem. Now, the thing about spotting problems is this: whenever you spot a problem, you have to, I told you, you have to adopt the mentality of a true producer. And every true producer always thinks about the consumer. So, with that being said, after you then think about that problem, you now have to figure out a way to provide the solution. Not to just think about the solution, but to provide the solution. Now, usually in every space, listen carefully. In every space, when I'm talking about thinking outside of the box, inside of the box, and creating the box, in some spaces, there is a solution already. Listen carefully. You might be working within your organization. I'm helping you to see something right now. You might be working within your organization. Oh, Jesus. So you might be working within your organization, okay? And once you're working inside of your organization, there is already a box, okay? Now, when there is a box, sometimes you need to first think inside of the box. What that means is that you need to be able to understand. When I use the word box, what I mean is this: box just simply means solution. That's what you want, or an existing structure, or the current architecture of a particular reality. So first things first, when you see a solution, what you need to do is that you need to think. When you see a problem, you need to think about the solution. Now you need to think about the solution in three ways: inside the box, outside the box, creating the box. Now you first need to think, is there already a solution for it? This is how true creators think. This is how people who are truly creative think. Otherwise, you just end up creating something and then you get swallowed by the competition. Why? Because there's something in marketing called the law of leadership. It's in one of the books called the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. You should read that book if you are going to business or career or anything one way or another. You need to read that book. It's not just it help you understand life in general. When there's somebody who has done something first within any space, usually those people tend to be able to dominate a particular space, really. So one of the best ways to be able to lead within any space is to create something first. Anyway, let me not go into that tangent. So first things first, if you want to truly create something for any problem that you spotted, what you need to do is that you need to first ask yourself, is there already a solution for it? Now, the reason is this: sometimes if you do not learn how to ask those questions, you will not see what is inside of the box. So there are some people who end up creating solutions, and somebody has already created the solution. And so you, like, sometimes what you need to do is that thinking inside of the box means that you need to ask yourself, is there already a solution? Now, if there's a solution, what you need to figure out is, how can I help that solution to be better? That is what you call thinking inside of the box. That means that you are making do with the existing solutions. That's what you call thinking inside of the box. That means that you are making do with the existing solutions. The existing solutions within your space, you are just utilizing the same thing. That's what you need to do. Number two, Number two thing is thinking outside of the box. Sometimes some of the solutions that they've created is not that it's completely bad. It just means that it's good, but they need to build upon it. That is what you call thinking outside of the box. Thinking outside of the box means that the box still exists. That's what most people don't understand. So that means that the solutions already exist. What you need to do is that you are just building something on top of it. You are building some form of architecture on top of it. That's how to think about a solution. So number one is either you are going to create something that already exists, or that's so. Understand this: when you're trying to create something, or creativity is this, you're trying to create something. When you see a problem, you're either, let me put it this way: when you see a problem, the way to think about creating the solution is this: you want to create something that already exists. That is what you call thinking inside of the box. You If you're trying to think out of the box, what you're doing is that you're not creating something entirely new. You are creating what already exists by making it better. But thinking or creating the box is you creating something new. So I see people who that so That's why there are some people who, for example, they see Uber. Okay, so Uber is there. Then we've seen an app like Bolt or Yango Camp. They've just created something that already exists. Uber had already created it, so they're just replicating that. Okay, thinking outside of the box is you creating Uber, but creating something ahead, a part of it that is better. So maybe that's why some now these people add motor deliveries and these kind of things to it, or something better, like some form of add-on. Or you want to create something new. That is where what you call creating the box, something that is not seen within the space. Either of these three realms are what you call creativity. So what you have to do is this: when you spot a problem, you have to decide which of these things do I need to function in. Do I need to function inside the box, or do I need to function outside the box, or do I need to create the box? This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. If you're loving what I'm teaching right now, drop a few fire emojis. Okay? Inside of the box means that you're creating what already exists. Outside of the box means that you are creating what already exists, but you're making it better. Creating the box means that you are creating something that does not exist in the space. Totally. This is how true creativity works. The moment you don't think about creativity in this dimensional nature, you can never truly disrupt something. Because the reason being, a lot of times you don't need to necessarily create something new. You see some people who are in offices and who enter businesses, and the whole time their whole idea is that I want to create something new. Sometimes you don't need to create something new. There's some people, they're trying all their best to invent something. Sometimes you don't need to invent. Creativity is not just about inventing. Creativity is also about reinventing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Creativity is not just about inventing. Creativity is also about reinventing. Don't let anybody make you feel as though creativity is don't make anybody make you feel as though creativity only thrives in newness. Because creativity does not only thrive in newness, creativity thrives in production, not newness. As long as you have the ability to produce, that makes you creative. It's not whether it is new or not. Whether it is new or not does not matter to the marketplace. What matters to the marketplace is whether whatever you have created is solving the problem or not. So you see people in offices or in departments who are trying to create something new. And the whole time, the people inside of your office are rebelling against you, because what you are trying to tell them is that the solution that already exists, it is nonsensical in nature, that they've already decided to think about. So no, in that case, what you need to do is that you need to think inside the box and help them to run whatever exists. What you need to do is you need to make them you need to help whatever already exists or make it better. That is what you need to do. That's how to be a real solution inside of the workplace, or even if you're an entrepreneur, that's how to be a real solution. You see, this insights that I'm sharing with you, you don't hear this anywhere. That's why I call this the marketplace dynamics. I'm a one of one, quite literally. So, what am I saying? What am I saying, guys? Creativity is not just about inventing, it's about reinventing. So, what you need to do is that when you spot a problem, you need to function in the realm of inside of the box, outside of the box, or creating the box. This is how you need to think. That's what I told you by thinking of quality solutions. Are you with me? You see, otherwise, you see, so I just want to say this again. Thinking inside the box means replicating the solution that already exists. Thinking outside of the box means replicating the solution that already exists, but making it incrementally or exponentially better. Creating the box means that you are creating what does not exist within a space. what is not seen before. Okay. So, for example, somebody like Steve Jobs, he thought outside of the box. He was not the first person to make the light or the light. For example, somebody like this guy, Thomas Edison, he created the light bulb. That was something new. He created a box. Then some people then thought outside of the box and created chandeliers. Then there's some other companies that opened that also created light bulb companies. So what they did was that they were not thinking outside of the box or creating creating the box. They were just replicating and creating more of the lights that Thomas Edison had already created. But the whole thing is this: they are all still creative, regardless of wherever they are. The only thing is this: it's all creativity. It's just that all of them, all of those realms of creativity is like, you see, some people think that, oh, that means thinking inside of the box. If you're just copying what exists, is easy. Let me tell you something. The skill of being able to repeat what has been done is not always easy. Exactly, the ability to mimic something. I'm not trying to say be a copycat. What I'm trying to say is that learn how to lead, but always think of whether it is necessary enough for you to create a new solution or create a better solution. Sometimes you don't always need to think about how to create a better solution. Sometimes people just want alternatives in markets. It's not just whether it's better, they just want alternatives. Some of what I'm trying to say is this: some of you need to enter markets that are already monopolized. Enter those spaces, create what they have. Now you've created an alternative in the market. Once you create an alternative in the market, some part of the market share will naturally gravitate to you. Anyway, that's that part. So now that I've taught you what to create, I'm not done teaching what to create. I mean, but like some part of what to create or how to think about what to create. So what me telling you about the inside the box, outside the box, and creating the box is me just teaching you about how to create. I mean, teaching you about how to think about what to create. Let me put it that way. Now, what should you be creating? Now, I need you to understand that I'm not just talking about business. This is the marketplace dynamics. This applies for career, freelancers, contractors, whatever part of the value or supply chain that you might be operating from. This applies to you as long as you're operating in the marketplace. It applies to you. Solutions are not just for producers. Solutions are for retailers and distributors and everything, wholesalers, whatever. Okay. The only thing is this: it's an error when the only thing that you do is consume. Listen, consumers never get remembered. Consumers, when you're a full consumer, everybody's a consumer. I told you, Elon Musk is a consumer, even though he's a producer as well. He's a consumer because he eats food. Where does he get the food from? You go and buy food from McDonald's. You go and eat. He's a consumer. So everybody's both a consumer and a producer at the same time. What I am saying is this: God is the only person who by himself is a total producer. In totality, he's a producer. He's the only person who embodies that nature in totality. But as humans, our nature makes us both consumers and producers. So I'm a consumer and I'm also a producer. So I don't only buy, but I have to sell. The problem is this: most of you are only consuming without producing. When you are only consuming and not producing, when you're only consuming and not producing, you are part of the mediocre many, you are not part of the excellent few. You cannot lead, and that's why I said in the beginning. Now, with that being said, what then should you exactly be creating? Now, I'm not just talking about business, even though it's part. There are so many. I want you to understand that success usually manifests in three different ways. Most times people think, oh, success is only money. Success is not only money. Success can manifest in income, influence, or impact. Three things, three major dimensions of being able to improve human lives: income, influence, or impact. Okay, so what you need to figure out is What sphere am I operating in? Am I trying to create a solution for income? Am I trying to create a solution for influence, or am I trying to create a solution for impact? The moment you determine which of these boxes that you are going to operate in, that is what is going to allow you to create something that is very necessary. So, because if you don't understand whether you're trying to create something for income or impact, you don't know whether you're trying to create a non-profit or for a profit enterprise, or a for profit movement or non-profit movement. Listen, okay? So, everybody here, as long as you are under the sound of my voice, you need to create. You need to create something. Now, there are different things. Now, what you exactly create? This is what I'm talking about. Number one, you can create products. Number two, you can create services. Number two, you can create initiatives. Number four, you can create philosophies or ideologies or concepts. You can create movements. You can create religions. I'm not trying to say religion. Right now, for me, my only religion, but it's possible for you to create a religion. Buddha created a religion, and he's remembered from time because he was a leader of a sect. What I'm trying to tell you is this. I'm not trying to help you to sway into something else. No, no. I'm just saying that those are forbidden areas if you're in the school of Lumen. I want you to create something outside of religion. But I'm helping you to understand what people can create. Okay? You can create movements, events, initiatives, something. It does not always have to be a product or a service. So, for example, you can be working in your organization, but you've created something else, maybe like a non-profit whereby you go and see children and you help them become better at Excel or Word or PowerPoint. The whole thing is this: you need to lead something. The way to be able to get promoted within your organization is not just to only be operating inside of your organization. They need to be able to see if you can be able to even demonstrate leadership prowess outside of your organization. Sometimes it's even something that allows them to be able to see you as a potential to be able to lead other initiatives. Exactly. This person is understanding what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. I totally get it. It's like you are trying to be unique that you end up being disingenuous. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, the inside the box, outside the box, creating the box. You don't always have to create the box. Sometimes you have to just think inside the box. And it's still creativity. Oh my god. They make people feel like creativity is only creating something new. Don't let them lie to you. Creativity is not solely new inventions. Creativity is also reinvention. Back to what I'm saying. So you have to lead something one way or another. If you are in the school of Lumen, my task for you for the next 1 year is lead something. This is how to dominate in the marketplace. Create something that you can lead. Create it's either you're creating for income, influence, or impact. Influence might mean that maybe online you're going to be creating content. If it's as simple as content, but create something. Maybe, and from that you can create a movement. That's why we created the community, so you can create a community. Create something. Create a non-profit. If you've seen a problem that maybe, Ghanaian children or people, I hear people every time complaining, people in the SHS are not able to, we are only learning theory and things. Okay, that is fine. Why haven't you created a non-profit something outside of your 9 to 5, so that on the weekends you take a bus, you go to these high schools and you teach them the practicality of whatever you are trying to tell them about? Why haven't you done it? But you can spot the problem and talk. You are not tuning into your creativity. That is what I'm talking about. Some people say, oh, there are already people doing it. It's not about that. That is why you have to think inside the box. If somebody is already doing it, you can also replicate it. There's nothing like anything is saturated. There's nothing like that. There's a book called Blue Ocean Blue ocean. If you read it, you realize there's something called the red ocean, the blue ocean. Listen, the red ocean still has blood, but it's still an ocean. You can dip inside. That's what it means. There are more people inside, but it's still an ocean. You can get inside. As long as it's an ocean, you can get inside. It's possible. There's nothing like such. It's too no. As long as it's an ocean, you can get inside. There's nothing like there are too many people that everybody's inside. There's not like everybody's inside. There may be many people inside, but everybody's not inside. Otherwise, you'll not be able to enter the ocean in the first place. Otherwise, it will not be called an ocean. It will be covered, and then you'll be landing on people's heads. You see, this type of wisdom, you can't find this in some places. This is the spirit of wisdom, quite literally. Okay, so I want you to tune into the frequency of these ideas. Please, right now, what at this juncture, I'm about to end, so I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to talk about how to create things, and then we just wrap up over here. I told you these sessions are less than 2 hours or 2 hours. I don't really do so much, so I just want you to focus for this time around. If you are here, just share the link with somebody, or put on the community page, join now, or put on your status or something. I need more people to join, because this is going to impact somebody on a very large scale. Okay, so what you want to do is this. I told you, you need to think about whether you are trying to operate inside the box, outside the box, or create the box. If you think that the problem that you spotted does not already exist, that means that you have to create the box. That requires, honestly, you see, all of them, inside the box, outside the box, and creating the box, is all creativity. Just that it's more like there are different resolutions of creativity. So thinking inside the box is not that it's not creativity, it's creativity, but it's a lower resolution of creativity. Thinking outside of the box is also creativity, but is still just a higher resolution of creativity than thinking inside of the box. Creating the box is a very high resolution, okay, of creativity. That's how you need to think about it. But it's all creativity at the fundamental level. It's just that it's different resolutions of creativity. So because the efforts that you need to think of something new to create in a space that already does not exist really matters. Anyway, so um yeah, you need to create something. There are some people here who need to write books. And out in the school of Lumen, I feel so strongly that there are people who are going to be writing books. Now, you see, that's what I'm talking about. You see, when you spotting a problem is one thing, but your ability to know what type of solution exactly to create is what I'm talking about. Because how will I know that, okay, maybe for this particular problem, I need to write a book as my solution. For this particular problem, I need to create a product as my solution for it. For this particular problem, I need to create a philosophy. I need to create a foundation, a non-profit. Like, how do you know exactly what to do? The way you know exactly what to do is that you need to fundamentally do an analysis of what exactly it is. Because problems, that's what I was saying, creativity is dimensional in nature. Because sometimes the problems, for example, if it's the very if usually problems that are very emotionally related, it's not every time that you need to create something. Like, for example, if people are suffering from depression, those kind of things, and you're going to create a for profit, it just is a solution, but it just doesn't match. If you think that people are suffering from depression, you want to create a solution for that, something that you do on the side as you are still working within whatever you're doing, but at least you are leading something. Remember, the whole idea is that every solution that we are creating gives us the opportunity to lead, and that truly makes us creative because of producer. That means to lead forth. Anyway, but if you're trying to If you spotted that people are suffering from depression and you go and create a for-profit enterprise, you seem like a greedy bastard. Excuse me for those words, but that's how you seem. I just want to be as plain as much as possible. When you are, you seem very insensitive because people are suffering from depression. You are trying to profit off people's depression. So it just that doesn't match. So, for example, if that's the type of solution you want to create something like a foundation, create it. So what I'm trying to say is that everything that you are looking at, whatever you're trying to create, whatever solution that you already that you, what type of whatever problem that you spotted, you need to be able to determine the right type of solution for it. Sometimes what you need to do is that the solution might just be even raising awareness. So you might need to create a podcast, create a platform. But my whole goal over here is create something. But it's not just important to create a solution, it's important to create the right type of solution. That's why you need to determine, is this for income, influence, impact? That's on your level. You have to determine personally that is it for income, influence, or impact. That is your internal analysis. That's what we call internal analysis. You have to do internal analysis to determine whether it's for income, influence, or impact. External analysis means that you are now looking, is this solution that I'm creating befitting? Is this the best way to be able to tackle this thing? Some people are writing books for problems that they need, that they should have created products for. You should have probably created some form of product. I went to write like a book. I know a book is still a product technically, but it's information that like it's like you want to be able to maybe even create like a software or something, but you are busy creating just information for people to read instead of you creating something that people actually can utilize on a higher level. Do you understand? Like, is anybody getting what I'm saying? If you are tuning into the frequency of what I'm saying, just type yes, 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 and let me know that I'm hitting the right notes. Just type yes if you are truly understanding the frequency and the density of what I'm talking about. Just type yes. Just type yes. I want to see more people. Just type yes. Just type yes. Thank you for the people who are sharing on the community. I truly appreciate you. You have no idea. You have no idea. I truly appreciate you. Okay. All right. So perfect. Clenam, Slam, Sam. Okay. So people are getting it. How many of you think right now that this is like one of the most impactful events that you've already been to, like ever in your life? I'm not even just talking about this year, ever in your life. Really? Because these things, listen, these works, the marketplace dynamics are the events that I'm creating that if I should leave this earth realm, I'll be so proud of these works that I've put out there for you. Quite literally. This is one of the best events that you could ever attend in your life. Anybody. Like regardless of your location. Okay? Anyway, so back to what I'm saying. So you need to determine that right type of solution. I need to hammer on that right type of solution. Otherwise, people end up creating solutions just because I said create a solution. They end up creating solutions that are not totally befitting for that problem. Okay. So, for example, you see, if imagine if God was, you see, it says in Genesis 1, it says, and the spirit of God hovered over the waters, and the earth was formless, without form, was the dark and everything. Imagine if God had just started creating, boom, there's darkness, but has not created a befitting solution. If there's darkness, the befitting solution is not to create trees and everything, even though those things are good. You see, like you need to understand that those things were good because the earth was formless and empty, but that does not really solve all of the things. Okay, trees are good, is a solution. However, a befitting solution to darkness is light. It's not important, it's not good enough to just create a solution. You need to create befitting solutions. Okay, let me go into the other part of what I want to say. So now, how then do you create these solutions? How exactly do you create these solutions? That's what I want to talk about. How exactly do you create these solutions? Like whatever you are doing, whether you're graphic create something. You can create like create a digital product, create something. I don't care, create something, create something, create something. I have a training over on the School of Lumen channel. It's called the Golden Stream of Internet Income. If the type of solution that you are creating requires you to be able to use like the internet, something like that, watch that training. It's going to help you. It's not totally about that. It's about some making money online. But however, that training, that training will teach you about what type of solutions can exist within the digital sphere or hemisphere, if I can use that word. Um, so yes, let me then show you what to create or how to create things. Um, so how to create things? Because you remember I told you that if you just think about what to create, you are living the abstract. You need to think about how to create things. Now, you see, when you are thinking of how to create things, you need to first think about something called the principle of initial resources. Please write this down. The principle of initial resources. I'm listen. The things I'm about to, I know I'm teaching you guys. Listen, because you see, you cannot create anything without resources. Quite literally, if you want to create even a foundation, you've got to register the foundation. Okay, you've got to get bases. You've got to okay. If you want to join the School of Lumen community, if you want to join the School of Lumen community, one of the things that you need to do is, I mean, it's on my site, but let me show you. Let me give you the link, or anybody who's anybody else, the people who are part of the School of Lumen. You guys have everybody has a community link. You can send it to you can put it on the chat so that anybody can join. I know that everybody has the link. I sent it. We sent it earlier, so everybody has a link. Okay, everybody has a link. So I'm putting the link in the chat section. You can just copy it, and then join us if you're not already part of the School of Lumen. Okay, because we'll be having more events. We'll have more events in person. There's another we had an in-person event in Takrade, amazing event. We're going to have one in Accra. And if you are listening to me all over the world, because I know there's so many people, and you want me to come to your nation, send me a text. Let's talk about it. We'll see what we can create. If you want me to come to Nigeria, you want me to come to Kenya, you want me to come to Uganda, India, wherever you are, the USA, the UK, South Africa, because next year that's what we'll be doing. We're extending it to the world. Okay. And so like once you are doing, like, we have some type of events that we don't always share to the public. I've had events that we do 5 hours straight of another resolution of thinking that allows people to move into the next level, whatever they're doing. And so I'm just putting that out there so that you know that we are doing this for sure. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. The principle of initial resources. You cannot create anything without having resources. You cannot. Okay. Everything that you are going to create is going to require some initial resources. And the thing is this, how to create it will then depend on those resources. Now, before I go into the principle of initial resources, I need to show you. This. Give me a moment. Now, there, especially if what you are creating might be a for profit. Okay, there are three types of things that you can create. Oh, I didn't bring my board. Come on, I can't believe I forgot this. There are three types of things that you can create. You can create something called a done with you solution. Done with you solution. You can create something called a do it yourself solution, or you can create what you call a done for you solution. Write this down. You can create a done for you solution. This is what Done for you. Okay, no. So you can create what you call a done with you solution. This is what we call an advisory based solution. Number two, you can create something called a do it yourself solution. This is what we call the autonomy based solution. And you can create something called the done for you solution. This is what you call the agency based solution. Please, so can somebody write this down? So done with you solution is something called an advisory based solution. Do it yourself is something called an autonomy based solution. And then done for you is what we call an agency based solution. Three types of solutions you can create. Three types. Three types. Three types. Please write this down. Because the type of solutions you create usually might fall under either of these things. Probably. Do it yourself, do it with you, or done for you. Do it yourself means they are doing it themselves. So it's an autonomy based. When I say autonomy is that I give you the control. Then we have done with you, which is an advisory based model type of solution whereby I'm giving advice. Or we have done for you. That is what you call an agency type of solution. Now, when I say agency, I'm not saying create a marketing modeling agency, but that it might mean that for some of you who have spotted anything within that space, but you want to be able to create some type of solution. Somebody should write these things down. This part is a core part of everything. So if I want to see somebody write this down in the comment section, you can write this down in the comment section. Okay. You can write this down in the comment section. Okay. So three things: advisory-based solutions, agency-based solutions, or autonomy-based solutions. Now, an advisory-based solution might mean that maybe you might start doing running something that requires you to probably be in my space, like a public speaker, or you might do consultations, or you might become a coach or something, but you are creating a solution whatsoever, and it's through the flow of information. Okay, so through the passage of information. So that might even be in the form of a book. That's still advisory, still falls under that. More or less like no, but it's not necessarily done. It's not necessarily done with you. Done with you is like I do it with you. So if I go to your, if you're a public speaker, you're going to people, you're talking to them about depression, about mental health. That's the type of solution you want to create, or maybe it can be about SDGs or social entrepreneurship, or a tech product you're trying to create, or maybe you can example everybody wants to be a tech like startup, but you can also be the person who is helping people to see what type of tech startups to create. Maybe the e-commerce space, this and this. Like it's not every time that you always have to create a product, a done for you thing. You can either be in the advisory based space whereby you are going to people and you're giving them some form of information that is illuminating their path. That's what's called an advisory based solution. You can either charge for it or do it non-profit, depending on who you are and what you're trying to do. There's some people who, for example, I'm a professional public speaker, even though School of Lumen is a free thing. I'm a professional public speaker. I get paid to speak. There's some people who do speaking and they never charge. That's because they see that solution that they are creating for them is a non-profit thing. But for me, it's a for-profit thing. I do some things that are for non-profits, but that are for others non-profit. It depends on what you want to function in. So those are the two criteria. You need to either understand whether it's for profit or non-profit. Those things for sure. Everything, any type of solution that you create, whether it falls under the advisory, agency-based solution or autonomy-based solution, you need to understand whether they are going to be for profit or not or they're not going to be for profit. Okay. Once you understand that, so advisory-based means that you might be a coach, consultant, speaker, something of that sort. You are doing that. That's what you call that. Then we have what you call the do it yourself, which is autonomy. That might come in the form of a SaaS product. You may create a software that allows people to do certain things themselves. So, for example, ChatGPT, or you using something like Canva, or those things are softwares. Those are do it yourself tools. It's a tool. So, tech products can fall under these things. Or a book that you've put your advisory based model inside, but people now get to do it themselves. That's one type of solution that you can create. Another type of solution that you can then create is an agency, whereby it's done for you. You do things for other people. So it could be like a marketing agency or some form of recruitment agency or something. Maybe you've one of the solutions that you spotted is that people are not able to. Maybe they have traveling agencies. There are different type of things, but you want to be able to do something for somebody. So whatever you are doing, you want to create some type of solution. Now, after you're done creating that type of solution, so this is the how part. What you need to do is that every solution, remember this, I want to say something. Every solution that does not have a system. Okay, so yes, exactly. So let me share this. So down with you solution, advisory based solution. Exactly. Please be writing this on the chat section for me. I truly appreciate those who are doing that. Okay. Do it yourself. Yes. Thank you. Exactly. David Yaira, I appreciate this. And global people who are engaging, thank you so much. Okay. Now let me go to what I was saying. So every solution without a system is always going to cause some form of havoc. Once you have a solution, in fact, let me put it this way, every solution that does not have a system is not going to experience longevity. You see, I need to understand that, you see, as long as it's an idea that you have, whether it's an idea that you brought from intangibility to tangibility, every idea, as long as it is birthed from a human, is going to expire. I don't care. Every idea that's ever come from every human being is, as long as an idea is going to have an expiry date. I don't care. Like, so as humans, you cannot optimize for immortality. You only have to optimize for longevity. Think about it. Do you know, like, what are some of the empires that used to exist back then? Boom, doesn't exist anymore. It's going to expire one time for sure. Some companies that you know of today who have been there for centuries, in the near future, they probably might not be there anymore. There are companies that used to exist. If you told people in those times, those 17 or something, that this guy's company will not be there, they will not believe you. Right? So, first of all, you need to understand that as human beings, you need to optimize whatever solution that you have for longevity, not immortality. Longevity means that longevity is still within the scope of legacy. So you can not be there, and those ideas will live outside of you. But it doesn't mean that even if your idea exists for 200 years, one day it's going to expire. It's going to die for sure. For sure. Probably it might be the same thing, but they remodel, change the names, and forget your idea is going to go off. Okay. Um, One way or another, that's what's going to happen. So even countries, certain countries that people used to call them in those times, maybe the Roman Empire, used to call the Roman Empire. That time was not called Italy. Then they started calling Italy. Like you get it. Like, as long as things change, things evolve. So as human beings, you have to optimize for longevity and legacy, not necessarily immortality. Just because you're trying to leave a legacy does not mean that that thing is going to be immortal. It just means that it's going to have longevity. Now, every solution without a system is not going to experience longevity. So even with the School of Lumen, like, one of the things that we are doing is that uh, School of Lumen is not just about me. Okay? It's not just about me. What we are trying to do is we are trying to build a system. Now, a lot of times, most people, it's not that your solution is wrong, you just have a system problem. So if you create a solution and you realize that the solution is right and your solution is working, then you have to check the system problem. Now, when I'm talking about system, what do I mean? Because systems are the ways that you'll be able to experience longevity in whatever solutions you are creating. There are two types of solutions that you can create. I mean, two types of systems that you can create. You can create something called an automation based system or a delegation based system. Now, an automation based system is where you use things like AI. Now, this is where we are talking about AI. Now, you see, when it comes to AI, most people don't understand what AI is. Like, I mean, they understand AI because they use ChatGPT and Grok and Claude and Gemini and whatever, but they only understand AI on one spectrum. Most people just when you say, "Oh, you have to use AI properly," and then all they think about is, "Okay, that means that I have to be writing in ChatGPT." That's not that's part of AI, but it's not enough. Okay, that's part of AI, but it's not enough. AI is literally they see there are three in AI. There are three levels really. There's something called LLM, okay, large language models. That are the generative function whereby you experience you do the generative AI and you type a prompt in and it gives you something. Okay. Then there's something called an AI workflow. That's the second level of AI optimization. And there's something called AI agents. I told you this is going to be very practical. So when you say when people say, "Oh, I'm using AI, I'm good at AI," they're only operating at level one, whereby they are just good at generative AI. So probably they are good with some prompts and they get quality responses. That is all. It's very low resolution. If you want to operate with AI on a high resolution, you want to build a system with using AI to power your dreams, you have to build something called an AI workflow, which is a step ahead of just using generative AI, or you have to go and learn how to build an AI agent. Agents and workflows are a bit different. A workflow is you simply just setting a few a few rules of automation that automates certain things for things to get done for you. But an AI agent can almost work like autonomously of what you do. So you create an agent. So what people do right now is that they are able to create agents. Now I want you to understand that these things are just the systems. They are not the solution. Most people treat these AI and things like they are the solution in entirety, but they are only the systems that supports the solution. The solution is that true thing that you've spotted, that thing that you've really like seen, and you've just created whatever you've created the AI. Whether even if you are creating an AI product itself, it's still a system to the true solution that you are solving to the problem. Are you with me? So when you are thinking about solutions and you only just think about solutions, you're not going to experience longevity. A solution is not enough. Every solution without a system is bound to fail. Every solution without a system is bound to fail. You will not experience any type of longevity. So that is what you call automation systems. So I'm teaching you about AI now. So if everybody here, I need you to go read and learn about AI workflows. I need you to go read about AI agents. Okay, probably one of the times we are going to, I'll probably get us to do like I probably might show you how to build an AI workflow. I can show you how to do that. If you are just listening to me, you can use make.com. I think that's a good way to start. And yeah, that's what I'm going to give you for now. Okay. Number Apart from an automation based system, you can have something called a delegation based system. Every solution that you want to create, for example, you're going to create a foundation that is going to attack maybe ADHD or something, I don't know, or you're creating something about, you can create a bakery school. Because I saw somebody saying you should do a bakery. You're trying to create a bakery school. You need to create a delegation system. A delegation system means that you cannot be a one-man team. You've got to have people. Otherwise, your whatever you are creating is not going to experience longevity. If you die, it dies with you. So I want you to be able to think of it's good to think about solutions. I've taught you how to think about solutions. There are three ways to think about it. Creativity is not just thinking inside the box, it's thinking outside the box. Your ability to create the box. You have to think from these three dimensions. After you think from these three dimensions, you need to figure out, now that I have my solution and I've learned how to package my solution, whether it's going to be an advisory based model, an autonomy based model, an agency based model, what I then need to do is that I need to be able to find a system to support this solution. The moment you don't think about this way, you are going to be in trouble. So, yes, this is what I have for you. This is what you call the dynamics of creativity. I've taught you how to be able to create solid solutions wherever you are going, so you're able to lead in whatever space you are in. Because remember what I told you, true creativity is a function of leadership. I did not make that quote. As like I made the quote, but I'm not trying. I like it's not me trying to influence your thoughts. I showed you in the screen, like creates, because creativity comes from these two words, create plus activity. So create, create means that you have to be able to create something, and create, the Latin of create is creatus. That means to produce. Produce, the Latin of that is producer. That means to lead forth. So that means that creativity in actuality is about leadership. Anyway, so please understand that once you create a solution, you need activity. Activity is what gives birth to full creativity. Any solution that you create that does not have radical activity will die. That is what I want to say. The dynamics of creativity is not just about understanding how to create. It's also about understanding how to create. It's not just understanding how to create solutions, and about understanding how to create solutions and the necessary systems, and doing the necessary activity to ensure that whatever solution you are creating is being appreciated by the human beings. Everybody here is mandated to create some form of solution. I explained to you in the beginning. So if you've not watched us, if not joined us from the beginning, I want you to go after this training, go watch from the start, watch this training a number of times. There may be a time in life where you probably might not get to hear from me again about some things. These works will speak for me. These works will last you the next 20 years. Some of you don't understand the frequency of these things. So come listen to this same recording next 3 years. That's when maybe your capacity will be able to understand the frequency of the words and the density of the wisdom that I'm speaking. You understand that, hey, this guy really taught me how to be able to create the type of solution I need in a thing, and I did not even use it. So that's why sometimes that's the thing about knowledge. Knowledge and information and these things, they don't die per se. Sometimes they go into the future to multiply itself so that you are able to make sense of it. Because sometimes your current version cannot fully make sense of some things at some point in time, but your future version will be able to do it. Anyway, um, so yeah. So yeah, you need to do some activity, and the activity I'm talking about, it is this. Make sure that it's one thing to create a solution, and it's another thing to ensure that whatever you have created is in the hands of consumers. You cannot just be understanding the dynamics of producing and production and not also understand the dynamics of consumption. Anybody who is truly operating in the function of dynamics of creativity understands the dynamics of production and also understands the dynamics of consumption. You need to understand whatever I am doing, if I'm going to create a non-profit, how can I do it? How can I go to the world with this? How can I do it at a big level? How can I be able to touch 10,000 lives, 50,000 lives? You see, what I was telling you about is that you see, people like, you see, when God was creating, he said in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God creates things as scale. See how big the earth is. That's the same way when you are thinking about a solution to create, you need to create at scale. Right from jump, you need to be thinking at scale. How can I create something big? And it's not because of just thinking big, it's just because you are thinking big because your creator created big. The earth is big. The heavens, he didn't even just create a heaven, he created the heavens. It's a multi-dimensional layer, a multi-dimensional realm that he created. So when people say, I'm going to heaven, God never created heaven, God created heavens. For he said in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So you need to think at scale. When you are creating something, create something big. Create something that if you are here and you will never be, you see, if I tell you to create something, go and create, that's fine. You've taken the first step to be a part of the excellence view. But the excellence view, you need to do it at scale. Create something at scale. And the way to create something at scale is to be able to not only think about the dynamics of production, but also think about the dynamics of consumption. Consumption means that you need to understand who the consumers are for whatever solution you create, what exactly the consumers truly want, and how exactly to get it to the consumer. When I'm saying consumer, I'm not meaning people who are buying. No. I'm talking about whoever is the end user of whatever solution you are creating. Whether it's a foundation, whether it's an initiative, a philosophy, a concept, a book, who is that end user? If you've created a book for that is going to teach people about, I don't know, you've created a book about confidence, and it's only you and your family doing it, you've created a solution, but you've not created a skill. That means that you've not understood the dynamics of consumption enough. Because if you understand the dynamics of consumption enough, you will get this book, whatever you have, to as many people as much as possible. You see, let me end with this, okay? It says, you see, let me just say this, you see, and I'm going to just end with this, and that's about everything. You see, when God created the earth, most people, when God created the earth, his first words to humans, listen carefully, were be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. His first words. His first sentences to humans. He didn't even say hello human. He didn't even say that. He said, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. He didn't even say hello, you are welcome to earth. He didn't utter those words. He could have created Adam and said, hello Adam, you are welcome to earth. What I want to tell you next is be fruitful. He didn't say that. He said, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Now, if you entered any building, and imagine you enter the place and there's nothing, you don't see anything in the place, like, and there's only like, and maybe you met the imagine you enter the building and you met the owner of the building. The owner told you something, green button, green button, green button. That's all he told you, and he left. Quite literally, he left. When you enter the house, sometimes you may not be able to make total sense of it, but you should, whatever, even if he told you things afterwards, you should be able to prioritize the first things that he said, because you're entering into a new terrain, a new place. So if the landlord has told you some first instructions, he has given you instructions first of all, like, you need to place priority on the first things he's saying. So if God has brought you into a new world, you need to place priority on, like, the first thing he said. God has said many things, but the first thing he said is important, because that's like, it's like, out of all the many things that God could have said, God could have said, oh, you can be a great person. That could have been his first words. But out of all the many first things that God could have said, he said, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Any wise person should truly understand what that means. Usually when people understand that be fruitful, they don't understand what it means. They just say, be fruitful, be fruitful. No, that's not what it means. Like, be fruitful, they'll say, oh, it means giving birth to children and everything. It's good. God said fill the earth as well. But be fruitful was actually the first thing. That word fruitful comes from the Hebrew word known as kathab. Kathab is the same word that is used when Isaac in the Bible was digging a well, and then some enemies will come and cover it. Who knows that story over here? If you know that story, and then he will always come and like, and he said that later because Isaac became prosperous. That word prosperous over there is the same word kathab. That's the same word also used as be fruitful. So when it's talking about be fruitful, be full of fruit. In other words, God is saying be prosperous. The first thing that God is telling you is that be prosperous. And now it's not just talking about riches. I'm talking about every solution that you have should be full of fruit. That means that it should be going to a lot of people, be creating it at scale. Make sure that anything that you create, there's activity enough to back that solution so it reaches the hand of the end user as much as possible. The moment you do not think enough about the dynamics of consumption and how to be able to get it to the consumer, you have not done a good job. That is not the dynamics of creativity. The dynamics of creativity is not just about creating or producing. The dynamics of creativity is about you being able to function both in the realm of production and the realm of consumption at the same time. So always keep the consumer in mind. Always function in the realm of consumption in as much as you function in the realm of production. The moment you have this, you will truly be somebody who will shift industries in an age of automation, technology, AI, anything whatsoever. This is how it works. All right. Let me know if this was wonderful. I told you I'll do 2 hours. It's 2 hours, 2 minutes. I'm 2 minutes late, but I'm ending here. How many of you thought that this was great? This was mind blowing. How many of you? Listen, I want you to listen to this work next year. I want you to listen to it. It's going to be on YouTube. This is for free. Listen, I do events where I charge people for these kind of things. Probably we're going to do events in the future where we're probably going to charge. I don't know. Okay, people pay me a lot of money to get me to speak on stages and stuff like that. You guys know already. But guys, I want you to take these things seriously because this is like wisdom on another level. And yeah, essentially that's about it. Right. If this was mind blowing or something, if somebody said this was great, let me know. How was this event? Do you think this is going to help you one way or another? Do you think you are going to shift industries? Are you ready? How many of you can already see yourself using the things I've already told you? How many of you? How many of you can already like practically see what I'm talking about? Wow. How many of you can practically imagine yourself already using these things, creating solutions? How many of you? How many of you? Let me know. Because this is not a theory based thing. I'm not just come talk to you. I'm not, no. I'm teaching you things. I've taught you things. I've taught you things. Okay? Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. How many of you can already see yourself using what I've taught you to your advantage? How many of you? Let me know in the chat section if you're here. Okay? Oh my. I love doing these things. You have no idea. I love doing these things. I love doing these things. I love being of this is like this is who I'm truly called to be, okay? And so I do these things without holding back. I share these things so that you can be able to operate at a new frequency. So this is the final part, by the way, of the marketplace dynamics. This is 3 out of 3. There's 1 out of 3, which is the dynamics of opportunity, which we did last 4 weeks. We did last 2 weeks. We did the dynamics of manifestation, and this today is dynamics of creativity. So it's a 3-part event series. I wanted to add the dynamics of probability to this teaching, but it's otherwise I won't have closed today. So probably we're going to do the dynamics of probability sometime, maybe when we do the marketplace dynamics part 2. Or I may do it in the School of Lumen as an enclosed session, the dynamics of probability. Also, the dynamics of opportunity, there's a part 2. Okay, there's a part 2 of the dynamics of opportunity. That's too, I might do it in an enclosed space with just the community people, just a few people who want to be able to know how to be able to truly get opportunities, and who want to be able to know how to be able to use probability to their advantage. I want you to understand that great people don't just succeed using possibility, they succeed using probability. I'll prove it to you on the dynamics of probability. And when you understand that, the dynamics of probability, listen, you overtake people within your space. I'm telling you. And so those events, we can do the marketplace dynamics too. That will be for a few people. I don't mind even if it's 5, 10 people. I don't mind at all, because this is for people who are truly going to. I don't do this events just to talk. I do this so that you are able to use them practically within wherever you are working, within wherever you are doing. Okay, right. How do we get the previous lessons? The previous trainings or the previous sessions are right on our YouTube channel. Okay, so just click the channel. You see the dynamics of opportunity, dynamics of manifestation, dynamics of creativity. They are there. I honestly, some people are telling me that I should remove them and charge people for those things, and I don't know. I don't know. So watch it right now before we change our minds. I want you to go watch them, okay, and watch this training over and over again. So the dynamics of creativity, dynamics of opportunity, dynamics of manifestation. For all of you who decided to join each of the 3 sessions, I truly appreciate you, and my entire hope is that in the marketplace you begin to dominate within your career, within your business. I've taught you how to be able, principles of manifestation at a higher level. And manifestation, we're not talking about speaking things into existence. That's not what I'm talking about. Go watch the video for the context, the training. Dynamics of opportunity, I showed you how to be able to get opportunities within your space. The dynamics of manifestation, I even taught you how to be able to bypass brokers using the needle movers and everything. Okay, yes, you can ask me questions. Please ask me questions. We do questions at every point in time. Please ask me questions. I always take 2, max 3 questions. So please ask me questions. If you are here right now, ask me questions and I'm going to answer them right away. After the questions, we end, and then I know for sure that you're going to shine in the marketplace. This is not just a teaching for this year, this teaching is for the next 10 years. Please, next 10 years, go watch it. And you see that I was speaking facts. Okay, so yes, please ask me questions. I'm taking max 3 questions. I'm taking 2 questions at least. So ask me any question. Just type your question. I'm going to answer it for you. Type the question. Type your questions. Okay, so can you talk a little on the doubt stuff? Oh yeah, for sure. I can do that. I always tell people that if I want. Okay, so all right. So I'm just trying to remember exactly my thoughts on this. I have a particular way that I answer that question. Really. Okay. So this is what I want to tell you on the doubt stuff. Okay. First things first, I want to say is if if you're if you're always operating on doubt, anytime an opportunity comes about, you always count yourself out. Quite literally. I've said this many times. People know this exact phrasing. Okay. Okay, so if you're always operating on doubt, anytime an opportunity comes about, you always count yourself out. Doubt is the killer of greatness, one of the killers of greatness. And the dangerous thing about doubt is this: doubt, doubt means that you believe, just that you believe in the negative manifestation of the thing. So it's not that what doubt is like, I know I am good, but I don't think I'm good enough, and so I don't deserve this opportunity. That is what doubt is. That is what doubt is. That is what doubt is. And so the thing about doubt is that doubt has this way of making you feel less than you are. Doubt has this way of making you feel like you are just not good enough. Now, the thing about doubt is that the reason why most people are not able to overcome doubt is because they are solely going by feelings, okay, pure emotion. Now, doubt cannot function in the presence of purpose. Doubt can function in the presence of discipline. So, for example, if you are disciplined, you keep on doing something, but you are doubting yourself regardless. But when you have true purpose, okay, and you are truly on a mission, you know that this is exactly why I'm doing something. Doubt will not have anything on you. Doubt might be trying to creep up, but it will not hold your neck and strangle you to death. So doubt is one of the killer, but one of the ways to be able to deal with doubt is to be able to counter doubt with purpose. Purpose is not, people think about purpose as this mysterious thing, okay? Purpose is not one of those mysterious things. Otherwise, you see, people, even unbelievers, people will say, oh, you can only find your purpose. No, you can't only find your purpose talking to God. It's one of the ways, but it's not the only way. Otherwise, people who are outside, who are unbelievers, who are atheists, they will never ever be operating with purpose in a way whereby they're able to create some of the most befitting solutions that are serving us today. Purpose is something that you discover in something I call the silent zone. One of the way, there are many, you see, there's no one size fits all for finding your purpose. I can't recommend something per se and say if you do this, there are different ways. But one of the best ways to be able to find your purpose is, and I taught this inside of the purpose code, is that number one, you want to find out what you are good at. That's what's called proficiency. You want to find out what you love. That is what you call passion. And then you want to find out what people want or what people are willing to pay you for or what the demand is. That is what you call preference. So your purpose is found in the intersection of proficiency, passion, and preference. So it's not just enough to say, oh, what do I want or what do I love? But what do people also want? Because people also matter in the equation of purpose. So when you find true purpose and you know your exact why, I always tell people once you can understand your why, success can never tell you why. Purpose will always suffocate doubt. When you know why exactly, I'm not sure you doubt yourself because you will shrug everything. When doubt tries to creep up on you, you push doubts away. You say, no, there's a reason why I need to do it. And so because there's a reason why I need to do it, you build a certain type of mental fortitude that will allow you to function at a certain realm, that will allow you to bring whatever you've created into tangibility. Global agan bios or bios. Agabios. I hope that helps you. Another thing, let me give you another thing about doubt, is work on your self-esteem. Aside the purpose, one way to overcome doubt, self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Is how you see yourself, the image of how you see yourself. So you want to work on your self-esteem, you want to work on your self-image. Most people who experience doubt have misplaced identities. So it's not like they have identities of who they are, they know who they are, but it's misplaced. So it's just wrong. Okay, so what you want to do is that you want to correctly then place your identity. Sometimes that means that you need to be able to whip up your identity and how you see yourself, the image of yourself. That's how you can be able to trample doubt. One of the ways to do it is, it may sound very cliche, but one of the ways to be able to do it is you need to empower yourself as much as possible. You need to intentionally and consciously empower yourself. Now, The way to do this is that you need to use the force of intention. Josima told us something I always say, the law of intention. That law states that growth doesn't happen by accident. If you want to grow out of doubt, it won't happen by accident. It needs to come from the loins of intention. And what do you need to be intentional about? You need to be intentional about empowering yourself. How then do you empower yourself? You empower yourself, number one, through the leverage of affirmations. It may sound very generic, but you need to tell yourself something consistently enough for you to believe it. If you can believe the good story about you, you have a good outcome. Okay? And so you need to get yourself to truly believe that about you. Be delusional in bits and believe things, affirm things. Yeah, people will say, "Oh, affirmations doesn't work." I don't know about them. Like, I mean, people think affirmations are magic trick. It's not a magic trick to be able to speak things that you are just like a soothsayer or something where you speak something and literally manifest and it comes into fruition right in front of your eyes. Affirmation is it does something on your mental. You need to repeat things to yourself. Okay, because sometimes the reason why I'm saying affirmations is because like most people will go to church and they want to hear the pastor tell them something, but you see the whole thing you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, so sorry. I think I moved my mic from the volume, so was by mistake. So I was saying something. I said so much, so I was seeing a lot of wisdom. Anyway, so I was saying this when I'm talking about affirmations. I'm not just saying normal affirmations. What I'm saying is this: you need to do something called strategic affirmation. Strategic affirmation is whereby it's not just regular affirmations, those general affirmations that I can make it and all of that. No, that's not what you're doing. What you were doing is that you want to be able to intentionally, for example, if it's public speaking, the area of public speaking that you doubt yourself, what you want to do is that you want to be able to take that area and then affirm in a strategic way that is related and focused to that area, quite literally, and affirm yourself in a particular way that, oh, I sound good enough, I do this enough. And so those things are words. Words are things that I can uplift you. I was saying, I don't know if that part came inside or not, but affirmations can be first hand or second hand. People usually like second hand affirmation. That's why they empower themselves by going to church or something. So the pastor will tell them that this and this and this, and they'll tell you so many different things. Can you guys hear me? Somebody saying they can't hear me. If they can't hear me, I'll just close. So I gotta go. So. Can you guys hear me? Please let me know. Okay. Yes, you can hear me. Okay. So yeah. People go to church so that the pastor can affirm and do some form of affirmations to them. Okay, Krista says she can hear me. Okay, that's my cousin, by the way. So anyway, so um, so yeah, I was saying people So I'll say, people go to church so that the pastor can say things to them. So it's because they just need words. A lot of times, doubt does not function in the presence of words as well. When you're able to speak, so it's either I don't know your circumstance. That's what I'm saying. Affirmation, especially strategic self affirmations, because I don't know whether you have somebody who's there for you or not, a therapist, a guardian, a pastor, whoever. But you need to do it yourself. Okay. Sometimes you need to take ownership and responsibility. I will not do too much about this. Can I take one more question and I finish? Just second question and I'm done. Anybody who has a question based on anything that we spoke about creating solutions and systems and leadership and everything that we spoke about, okay? I spoke extensively about how to be able to function at a higher level, okay? Okay. Does anybody have one question? I'll take one more question. I'm giving us just 1 minute. If you don't type your question, I'll just end. Just one more minute. So 4E5, 4E4. Okay, I'm tracking the time over here. So 1 more minute. If I don't get another question, I'm ending this. But please ask a question. If you come and ask me a question in my DM, sometimes that's what people do. I would be finished the event and then they'll come and ask me a question in my DM. I say, hey, you could have asked me a question on the call. And I answer it for you. And especially when you ask a question on the call, other people can be able to hear what you are saying. Okay? And so that's the importance of doing that. Okay. All right, all right, all right. In the absence of questions, we call it a day, and that's about everything. So this has been amazing. The marketplace dynamics has been amazing. Please, if you're not on the community, please join the community. Let me put the link here again. If you're not on the community, please join the community. This is the School of Lumen, and what we do, Lumen is the Latin for light, and so what that means is that you can actually join us where we have these kind of events and everything. Okay, somebody has asked a question. Wow, perfect. I love the question. I've not even read it, but I love it. Okay, so I've put the link. I've put the link. Okay, I've seen your question, Letitia. I've seen it. Okay, so it says you've created a box. And for those of you who don't understand the context of that, you need to move into the middle somewhere. You've created a box, but your environment won't let you as in they won't let you as in they refuse to adopt the change you are bringing. Okay, great question. So anytime you create a box, and by box we all know that box means you're creating a new solution. That's what the context of this thing is. Now, when you are creating a new solution is depends, because any people usually attack things that are new, and it's not their fault, but people fight the unknown. People fight things they cannot comprehend. New things require a level of radicality that you need to force. You need to use brute forcing of new things. So, for example, if Jesus hadn't, when Jesus was preaching a message, it was new from what the Pharisees are known. The guy, that whatever they were preaching, he told them, no, everything is true. He has not come to abolish the law, but you have to go to heaven through him. That's a new concept. That's a new box, by the way. And to do that, he had to go hard. He was moved from city to city. He created disciples that understood his mission deeply on a macro level and a micro level. Those people then pushed the message harder. When Jesus died, it created a whole revolution and everything. But the whole idea is that Christianity is now over 3 billion people who have adopted that. I think if it's not 3 billion, it should be 2.5 billion. Or yeah, who have adopted Christianity as their religion. And that came from intensity, from the pioneers of Christianity, like people like Paul, always writing things and suffering for the cause. So when you have those kind of things, you need a lot of brute force if you are bringing a new idea into the market. Another thing is this: sometimes don't force what is not working. Sometimes people get too attached to a new idea. Sometimes the reason why the environment will not let you is that maybe they feel like the change you are bringing is not necessarily what we need. So what you want to do is that validate the box before you present the box. That's the way to allow the environment to accept you. Validate the box before you present the box. Another thing also too with the environment is that sometimes the person creating the box is the person that they do not like. It's not necessarily the box. So if they don't like the person creating the box, they will make the box an issue. So one of the things that you need to do is that make sure that you are liked. Hey, I think I said this on the opportunities, that I'm dynamics of opportunities, but make sure you are liked within the space that you are trying to bring the box. Make sure you are liked. Otherwise, if they don't like you, if you present a box, nobody will take the box. But if they like you, they are likely to accept the box. So you need to understand whether the issue is with the box or is with the creator of the box. Or you need to understand whether it's whether maybe if it's the box, that means that you have to validate the idea itself. If it's the person, make sure you are liked. Because you can be in an environment with people who are working with you whole time they don't like you. Whole time, it's not just about like, it's also about rating, whether they respect you. Do they think you were good enough? You need to kind of prove these things. And you can read this book, The 48 Laws of Power. Some people say it's an evil book. You need to read that book. I'm telling you, if you're trying to ascend to heights in terms of whether it's political power, corporate power, whatever type of power, you need to read that book. I wish I read that book much earlier in my life. Otherwise, like if I'd read it much earlier, some of the things that I'm doing at the level and the scale at which I'm doing them, if I read that book, I probably would have escaped some certain things. So that's why I can tell you, Letitia, let me know, is that a good answer? If that's not a good answer, let me know. I'll be willing to clarify and hit more on a particular nail for you. If that is cool. So I'm happy we've done this. So Letitia, let me know. Is this okay? Please, this is the link to join the School of Lumen. It's inside the comment section. So please, yes. How do you make sure you are liked? So please read the. I can't go into that for now. Please read the. Please read the 48 Laws of Power. But what I can say, so that at least you are not left in like complete oblivion, is the way to be liked is to first like. That means that you want to intentionally do things for people. Reciprocity. Yeah, it's one of the things. There's another book that I can give you, Robert Cialdini, Influence. There's something called reciprocity. If I do something for somebody and I accept other people's ideas and their boxes, they are likely to accept mine. And Jesus is in the Bible, and do unto others what you want others to do unto you. I don't know if is that in the Bible or just a saying. I don't really know, but yeah. Okay, I don't want to spend so much time here. It's 10 p.m. Here in Ghana. I don't want to keep more time over here. Thank you, all of you, for joining the School of Lumen, Dynamics of Creativity. Please go out there and be a blessing. Please remember, my name is Paa Kwesi Folson. I love all of you. Keep pushing, that you reach heights that you want to reach, and keep shining. Okay, bye bye. Bye everybody. I love you, okay? Please, I love everybody. That's why I do these things. All right.